wanted to give this information out in case you're gonna work on this over the weekend. This is the last little components that we need to put on our site plan just to kind of complete it. So we went and did our access and our septic system last time we talked about this. Now we need to install some other things that are gonna be pertinent to this property. And the first would be the well. Since we're not on city services, we do need to provide potable water. Keep in mind where you locate the well is really up to you. Generally, you want it out of the traffic flow because it will be sticking above the ground. You might want to think about aesthetics. Do you want a little wellhead sticking up out of the ground in front of a nice feature, or can you bury it behind a shrub or something of that nature? But put it someplace where you don't envision cars driving, this type of stuff. They're not really ugly. I mean, I don't know how you look at it, but some people like to cover them, yes.
Don't you have to have access though, in case it has to be,
Oh yeah, you need to have access to it. I mean, if that well fails, like the pump goes out, they're gonna bring a truck in and have to hoist the pump out of the hole and those types of things. So yes, that's a good point. Make sure that you don't bury it somewhere where you can't get a truck into. It certainly would be out in your lawn somewhere. Most people can just drive across the lawn and get to it.
those are huge trucks.
Yeah, well, they're Stinger trucks.
Ours are just a pickup truck with a derrick on the back.
Yeah, it's your definition of what huge is.
Yeah, I just think about
Yeah,
driving
your bill
over
is
all of
huge.
them.
We're not bringing a 50-ton crane out there. We're bringing what I call a Stinger truck because it looks like a little scorpion. It's got a little lift toe on it.
That's good description, that's fine.
So you need to do that. You need to have some drainage arrows. Now the drainage on this site is fairly easy. Everything drains to the back of the property, right, to the west. Just a couple showing that you want to shed it around the house and it's heading down to that bottom berm is good. And you put some of these drainage arrows on your Pizza Hut site plan, same thing. Twin Falls City requires us to put an energy note on the plan. I have put this on the drafting website. I just W blocked it out of another drawing. Just take that and insert it on your site plan someplace. If you have a table of contents that's sitting on your floor plan, move it to this plan, because this will be the first sheet. Any questions on that one?
Table of contents?
So,
Yes.
so your energy note needs to be with your table of contents.
Yeah, it should be on your first sheet. And Twin Falls City website tells you that specifically. If you are not doing a Model J report, which is a heating and air report that HVAC companies do for the property, and we're not required to do it, then we must put this note on there. Now you can also, if you already know who's going to install your furnace and all your ductwork, you can just have them say, hey, give us your Model J report. And it's basically an airflow calculation sheet, and you staple it to it. But we don't know who's installing the furnace, whether it's Terry's or Brazil or any of these other firms that are around here. They do that report. Legal description of the property, I'll show you an example of that in a minute. That should be on there. Usually with the legal description of property, we do have to have a location map. Now, most of the time in today's world, the legal description of the property is now sufficient. We do not have to do a location map. And you can thank the advent of your phones for that. But you used to, if you never put a little map on there saying, hey, drive through this street to get to here, back when we didn't have this stuff, they'd charge you $50 for every hour they looked for it. So you would put a little map on there, say, go Washington Street, drive this way, and go this way. And you would draw yourself a little map. Now we just put the legal description in, they can type it into their phone and go there. We didn't talk about an air conditioning pad, but you do need this. This will be a little 4-inch thick piece of concrete, and a good size for it is 4 foot by 4 foot. Okay, that will hold any air conditioning unit. Put it fairly close to the outside of the mechanical room. You should dimension the object. You have to dimension it. when you dimension the new features, which is, in this case is the house, you dimension from a property corner. From a property corner. Not a property line, a property corner. The only time you can pull a dimension to a property line is if it is parallel all the way through. Because that line's not sitting in the field, right? But there are those survey stakes. So they can confirm the corners, they can't confirm a line. Now, if it's all parallel and everything, then yes, you can come to the line.
How many points do you want?
So you have to just locate the house. And if you locate two corners of the house is located.
Okay.
So you don't have to do all four corners. Because they've got it's a rectangular structure, right? So if you do two corners, there's only one way that house is gonna sit there then. Just two corners. And then lastly, for your annotations come in, size locate, all exterior features that you are installing. And that is, for us, mostly just our driveway. You do not have to locate the drain field or the well.
But you have the dimension,
No.
No.
Well, it's one note on it saying 3-foot trench this long.
right? Okay, so you don't have the dimension on that, okay.
No.
A note.
No, because it'll be generic location. Okay, that's all you really need. I got a site plan that was done a little bit ago here, and I just want to show you a couple items on it so you can see it. Now, this one didn't have a well, but if you're putting a well on something, what I do is I pick a location, okay, and, you know, on this structure right here, you know, maybe I can come out here somewhere. But I think the mechanical room on this guy sat right there. You know, can't put it over here because there's a drain field, right? On your septic sheet, says the well must be, 50 feet from the tank, 100 feet from the field. Right? So I'd probably come in here somewhere, and we generally do not go to the symbols in chapter 2 of your symbol book for this, for a residential structure. Just a circle with a W on it would locate your well. Now that circle with a W should have a note on it saying well or be in your legend. So that's that. Drainage arrows. I don't even know that I have any here. Everything drained this way on this site.